to introduce Brinda Agarwal, the 2015 recipient of the department citation. Brinda double majored in political science and independent studies with a concentration in international economic development. Her coursework and her impressive honors thesis on the Dodd-Frank Act have fueled her passion for work in the areas of political representation, reducing poverty through policymaking, and restructuring financial regulation in the U.S. In addition to her academic studies, Brinda interned at the White House in the Office of Chief Information Officer and has been active in the nonprofit world. She co-founded the organization 100 Strong, which serves to empower low-income girls through leadership development and entrepreneurship. Brinda has served as 100 Strong's CEO and Director of Management for over 2 years, and her experience inspired her to start a second nonprofit, the Delhi Shakti Project, which aims to prevent gender-based violence in Indian slums. Brinda's next move is to Goldman Sachs, where she will become a public finance investment banking analyst, working to help state and local governments address their most pressing financial needs. Her long-term goals are to attend law school and to become the first female Indian American senator in the United States. She does assure me that if Kamala Harris gets there first, she's happy to go second. With the academic record, passion, and commitment that we've seen here, I have no doubt that we'll be voting for Brinda soon. Please join me in welcoming Brinda Agarwal.
Good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, and distinguished guests. Thank you so much for being here today to support all of us graduates. Today we have the honor of graduating from both the #1 public university in the world and the #1 department at this university. Congratulations. Congratulations, class of 2015. Golden Bears, we made it. I want to begin by thanking all of our political science professors and wonderful GSIs. Through hundreds of lectures and endless office hours, you have provided us with new perspectives on how to change the world. Living as a citizen of change in the world will always be my way of thanking you. I would also like to thank all of my friends seated in front of me for all of your unwavering support through all of the great times, like the ones at Pappy's and Free House, and the not so great times, like all-nighters in Moffett Library, finishing those political science 3 problem sets. Mom, Dad, thank you so much for your selfless love, but more importantly, thank you for paying my tuition. Graduates, I can give you all of the advice that I have, but I realize that there is nothing unique that I can say to this inspirational and amazing group in front of me that you do not already know. But if you insist, since this is a graduation speech, here's one piece of advice. If you all pursue your dreams as hard as you Facebook stalk, you will go far. Tried and tested. Today, I want to take a trip down memory lane and recount some of our powerful moments together as UC Berkeley Golden Bears and political science majors, and discuss how we can use the bricks of those memories to create the pathway for change. Political science class of 2015, true to our major, we have been a political class. And just as experiments in chemistry labs are used to teach about chemical changes, our political science professors and GSIs have used the entire world as our lab to teach us about political activities and changes. As major events unfolded around us, our professors gave us the tools to analyze and resolve these issues. In our first year at Cal, we were introduced to Cal's spirit of free speech and public engagement through a student-led fight against budget cuts. Soon, we too were flooding Bancroft and Telegraph to protest unfair budget cuts to our university and advocating for the rights of students who were as qualified as us, but could not afford to study here. While we fought for social justice for our fellow Golden Bears who would be unable to attend the UC if tuition increased, we learned in our poli-sci classes that oftentimes There are political reasons that explain why groups of people are marginalized. In fact, I witnessed this firsthand when I interned in Oakland and was shocked by the inequality that I saw there. Neighborhoods were run down and racially divided. Houses were extremely dilapidated. And most of the people that I saw when I bussed there were unemployed people of color. A semester later, in Professor Weir's class on urban politics, I learned why Oakland was stricken by inequality. I learned that racial segregation within neighborhoods is not a natural phenomenon. One of the reasons why cities like Oakland are still poor and racially segregated is due to federal housing acts that have divested from Black neighborhoods, disallowing residents of those neighborhoods to receive loans. These redlining policies have perpetuated cycles of poverty and inequality in many Oakland neighborhoods and resulted in under-resourced schools and communities. Some of us, as poli-sci majors and Golden Bears, have fought against these unfair policies through peaceful protests. Others by lobbying state and local governments, and some of us by starting nonprofit organizations to empower marginalized communities. Sophomore education opened our eyes to the new reality of global injustices. As we saw dictators around the world oppressing their constituents and perpetuating human rights violations, we learned in our political science international relations classes the theories of justice, how dictators take power in failed states, and how governments and political parties can rise up against such oppressive regimes. We spread awareness of these atrocities by holding peaceful demonstrations, writing op-eds to inform our fellow classmates, and for some of us, even working with Amnesty International or the United Nations Human Rights Campaign. We were learning firsthand how to tackle global challenges. In 2013, our junior year, we witnessed one of the biggest changes to the social fabric of the United States. Our Supreme Court struck down the Defense of Marriage Act, allowing equal access to the institution of marriage nationwide. States were no longer allowed to discriminate against same-sex couples by precedents of the Defense of Marriage Act or Proposition 8 in California. And simultaneously, in our American legal systems classes and theories of justice classes, our professors were teaching us about analytical approaches to the Equal Protection Clause, which disallows discrimination under the law. We learned about the legal precedents that were used to strike down DOMA and Prop 8, which was a very powerful moment for the many of us who wanted to fight against other legal forms of discrimination in our future careers. Senior year rolled around, and we bit our nails and watched eagerly as a giant screen on Sproul dictated the results of the 2014 midterm election. Synchronously, in our political science classes, we understood the importance of voting and the meaning of winning elections. Professor Schickler helped us absorb the meaning of representative democracy. It makes a difference when members of Congress are able to represent their constituents both substantively and descriptively or characteristically. Growing up myself in a predominantly white, conservative neighborhood, I did not feel politically represented as an immigrant woman of color. Why it was important to be descriptively represented was not clear to me until I attended Professor Schickler's class. His class opened my eyes to the importance of descriptive representation. We learned that minorities are more likely to become politically engaged, politically active, and even vote if members of Congress descriptively represent them. And minority representatives are more likely to create policies that empower their own communities. Learning this political concept has inspired me to represent women and people of color as the first Indian American female senator of the United States Congress. So, Department of Political Science, faculty and students, I will definitely need your help when I run. Understanding these key political concepts, such as the importance of representation, have driven the political battles that we have fought as Cal Golden Bears. So together, let us promise to put into practice all that we have learned here and be the stalwarts of society. Our responsibilities transcend the walls of Wheeler and Barrows halls. And as poli-sci majors, we have most certainly learned not to stand idle in the face of injustice. The battles we have fought, lost, and won are extremely important, but these are lessons from yesterday. Today, there continue to be nations around the world in which oppressive regimes violate fundamental human rights. Today, in our very own nation, there is widening income inequality between the rich and the poor, troublesome issues of mass incarceration, and even extremely troublesome race relations. But tomorrow we, as a future lawyers, mayors, representatives, and even as future president, thanks to our UC Berkeley education, are ready to resolve these major challenges. We are graduating from the best of both worlds. A university that has encouraged us to shape the world around us, to help others, and a major that has taught us how to do so. Keep the memories of our time at Cal alive by fighting for the rights of marginalized populations, protesting against government injustices, and changing our political system from within to ensure justice for all. Congratulations, UC Berkeley Political Science Class of 2015. Today we celebrate our graduation, but tomorrow we roll up our sleeves and get down to business. So let us be the change that we want to see in the world. Thank you, and go Bears.